Go on.
What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins, West Ham fan. Am I still alive?
Yeah,
you
you're
can still see me. Oh, here he is. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match pint, the only West Ham United post-match football show on the internet. We've just come back from the London Stadium virtually, where it was West Ham 0, Wolves 2. Scott, take us through the starting lineup.
Yeah, so Fabianski in goal. Ngakia starting at right back, bit of a shock.
Right back?
Right back, sorry. Rice slotting in for a Bonner who's injured. Diop as the other centre half. Creswell starting on the left. Souček and Noble and Fornals as the three midfielders. Bowen, Antonio and Anderson as the three attacking players.
Do you know what? I'm lost for words, to be honest with you, because I've been saying this for a week.
I can give you some words if you want them, mate.
No, I'll find them. Don't worry. I'll fucking find some words. I've been saying this for a week. I don't think we've got the fucking mentality for it. Absolute fucking disgraceful performance. No fight, no organisation, no determination. Anderson strolling around like he's strolling around on fucking Chadwell Heath of a fucking Tuesday morning. Disgraceful.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I think the only difference with today's game is they had something up front to aim for. We didn't. I thought defensively, we played really well. We broke their play up. The first 10, 15 minutes it took us to get into the game. They was all over us. They had a lot of the ball, and I expected that. I said that last night. But I think once we got settled, it was just when we got that ball going forward, we had nothing up there. Bowen was out wide. And as you said, Anderson wasn't looking to get into the game. Antonio was drifting out wide. We had nothing to aim for up there. And that's the difference between the two teams.
What have we been saying all season? Why we've been very, very lucky with the record we've got that Hellera's not had an injury already.
It's typical, isn't it? He scores 2 goals in 2 games in the friendlies. We're all looking forward to him playing, and he pulls up with an injury. He's going to be all right for Tuesday, I think. But it just goes to show, even taking. I mean, listen, I thought Declan Rice had a decent game at centre back.
Listen, to be honest with you, I think that Dec can sit there and hold his head up high. I really do. I don't think he was bad at all.
I mean, but we missed him in the middle. We missed him in the middle. We had a good game there, but we missed him in the middle. So it was, double-edged sword.
And this is what I said on Friday Night Pint last night, was that with Declan Rice not being in the middle, Wolves will have a lot of that ball in midfield. Neves, Dendonka, they're going to have that ball and they're going to knock it about. And it's about us breaking it up. I thought Souček done all right. He won a lot of headers in our box. Defended well. I just think we had nothing up front, and I think that was the difference between the two teams today. I honestly do.
I'm with you, mate. I said on when I was on with Dan a little earlier. We set up as if Heller was playing. Antonio up top on his own, too far apart. As I said, I thought he was self-isolating at some points because he had no support around him at all. I think Souček was too reserved. He needed to be a bit more aggressive going forward, but not having Rice in the middle with him, I think, that put the emphasis on him going forward. He had to sort of squash it because we know how good Wolves can move the ball back. I thought we defended okay. Apart from the 2 goals, we defended okay as a whole. But like you said, there was just nothing going forward at all.
I just don't think Wolves were that good. Like, had to be that good. Exactly. That's the thing. Wolves we hardly created any chances, but Wolves didn't create that much more chances. Even their manager came out and admitted it. Yeah, we didn't have to create much. They got the same as us.
That's what I was saying. That's the difference between the two teams. Is they had strikers that were up to, they had something to aim for up top. Every time Noble got that ball, he looked up. He played a few good balls over the top. The one for Fornals in the first half. That Fornals, I don't know what he was doing now. He didn't even have his eye on the ball. He didn't even look where the goal was, and he could have took an extra touch, and he's just swung at it.
For a player of his quality, that's poor.
Yeah, that's a lack of confidence. Because I'm telling you now, if that was Sebastian Haller on the end of that, that's probably 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had all that. He had all that time. The play, he had distance between him and the defender. He could have easily took a touch on that, let it drop to his feet, put it across goal, and yeah, it was one of them things. He probably got overexcited, but we didn't have many more chances like that, and that's so frustrating.
A player of his quality and the skill that he's got and the close control that he's got on the ball, you should at least hit the target. You shouldn't be skying it from that distance. It's worrying.
Work the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper weren't coming for it. He stood his ground. All he's got to do is hit that low and hard, and that's in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's so poor. And the corners. I'm trying to think. Right, I ain't seen Wolves a lot, but when I've seen them, that keeper doesn't flap at crosses, does he?
No, he's a good goalkeeper. There.
Yeah. Why are we putting players around him?
Yeah.
As if it's Roberto in goal, who we know flaps it across, so you put it on him.
I don't understand why when we whip corners in, we always whip it in to the front post or right on top of the goalkeeper. It's the same all the fucking time.
How many times did we see him? They go the ball whipped in straight to the keeper, catches it. He doesn't even have to come out for it. It's just straight into the keeper's hands. It winds me up.
Yeah, the only time it works, I think, is when it went past the keeper and Rice was at the back post.
Yeah, and what made me laugh is Lanzini comes on and they put him on corners, and he's one of the worst players we have for taking corners. He's like a new player. He never beats the first man. I don't know why we keep putting him on corners. So the corners just got worse when he came on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on Ngakia starting, because obviously I think he's destined to leave the club, isn't he? Really. It's a shame because I thought when you look at him today, he looks like he could be our right back for the next 5-6 seasons. He
gives the ball away a lot. In the first 15 minutes that he started the game, he was fucking awful. When I thought, oh yeah, he's got his eye somewhere else.
But what I like about him though, he's young and confident, and he doesn't give up. If he does it once and it doesn't work, he'll try it again. And
I'll be honest, I don't know why fucking Moyes wasted a sub bringing fucking Fredericks on. To be honest, we've 1-0 fucking down. What the fuck's Ryan fucking Fredericks gonna do? He ain't gonna do nothing. That team, right, has got no fucking clue. That team, that manager, hasn't got a fucking clue how to change a game when it ain't going his way. As I said, I've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks, when this gets restarted again, this is like a brand new season. We're at a disadvantage now because our team is one of the worst teams. The only way we've got any chance of fucking doing things is when we've got injuries to players and all of that sort of thing. Tottenham have got their fucking full team back now. But when we was going to play them before the lockdown, Kane was out, Son was out, fucking all these players were out. They're all back now. They're going to tear us a new fucking arsehole because what I see out there today was a team that ain't ready mentally to fucking get involved in a relegation fight. I don't know whether mentally they don't think they're in a relegation fight yet. But let's be fair, if you can't get up for it, look, home games mean no advantage, and they've got a fucking better team than us, Wolves. And this is the thing: we're all going in on a level playing field, and if you've got better teams, that is going to show. But we went in there today with no game plan. Mm-hmm. You look at these fucking training videos that they put out when they're fucking playing like matches on a quarter of a pitch and they're smashing them in for 4 yards. We didn't even get 4 yards within a fucking goal.
Yeah.
What's the fucking point in that?
Why do we have
fucking quarter pitch fucking matches and letting them smash them in from 4 yards and thinking they're all fucking good? They are shit. Some of them players out there, I don't want to see Anderson fucking play again because why we need fucking points and why we're in this fucking mess is one of the reasons we're in this fucking mess. We paid so much.
This is what we said at the beginning of the season. This is what we said at the beginning of the season when you got players like Anderson and Yarmolenko and players like that. When you're down there in the bottom, they're not the sort of players you need. I look at someone like Antonio. He'll give his all for the team. He'll work. But then you look at someone like Anderson. He doesn't want to track back. Bowen's been at the club 5 minutes, and I've seen him track back more times in the 5 games than what Anderson done in 2 seasons. And Anderson's the sort of player that you have when you're sort of cruising mid-table or around the European spots, and it's all going your way.
Well, see, I said this to Dan earlier. We play today like we were that team that can't get relegated, can't finish in Europe, so we've got nothing to play for. You know,
we're on our summer holidays.
Yeah, you know, and that's the worrying thing. There's no one there who looked up for a fight today. There's no one there who looked up for a scrap, and that is really worrying. Really worrying.
That is how we're going to beat these teams. That's how we've got to beat these teams. Yeah. We've got to go in there, roll our sleeves up and unsettle them. And we did none of that. We didn't even get fucking near them. They were fucking all over us. They controlled the game from minute 1 to minute 90. There was no patch in that game when I ever thought we might score here. We had nothing.
That Neves is a joy to watch. You know, the way he gets that ball and he just turns and he looks for simple balls, little triangles, wants to go forward, and that's what we're missing. Someone like, when you look at Noble, Rice, Souček, they're too similar. They're all similar. And then Lanzini, we know he's not the player that he was. When he come on, I was looking at him and I was thinking to myself, he don't even look like he wants to come on. You know, and you don't want that. You want your players to fucking be willing to come on and think, right, I'm going to turn this game around.
But let's be honest, he come on and he created more in the time he was on the pitch than Anderson did.
But that substitution, Scott, for me should have been done earlier, and it was the wrong choice. As much as Anderson was having a bad game, Fornals should have been the one that come off because it was Fornals. Because he was tired. He's the one that let Traore run past him. Look, Traore can run past a lot of players, but Fornals was sort of not that he give up. He was tired. You know, he'd been running around for 80 odd minutes.
Yeah, and I think the same with Antonio. When you go back to the first goal, you look at Antonio. He looked knackered on the 70th minute and should have come off. But I said this before. You go 1-0 down. We're in a relegation fight. You've got Ajeti, you've got Silva, you've got Yarmolenko. Chuck them all on. Go for it. If you end up being 2 or 3-0 and you've actually gone.
No. Why bother? We've got Ryan fucking Frederick sitting on a bench. Bring him on.
Why not? Why not give?
What Royce thinks he's going to fucking win us a game.
Why not give Silva a chance? Why not give Silva a chance when you're 1-0 down 10 minutes ago? You're looking for a goal. If we lose it 2-0, we lose it 2-0. But we'll at least chuck someone on who might get us a goal if we get the chance. Bowen from. You look at the penalty decision. At first I thought it was a penalty. When they showed the replays, it wasn't a penalty. But it was close. It was very close. But they're the differences because 5 minutes after that, they go 1-0 up. And our heads dropped. You see our heads drop. The only person I see on that pitch trying to G them players up was Declan Rice.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the game without the crowd noise. And you could hear Declan all game. He was telling them, keep it going.
You can only look at 2 players there to hold their heads up by, and one of them didn't even have a good game, and that was Antonio because he run his heart out. He always does. He does what he can. You know.
I think Souček had a half decent game.
Noble played all right.
I think
I don't think Noble played well at all.
No, Noble was the only one looking for that pass. He was the only one that got his head up and looking to play that ball over the top because that's the way we set up to play.
Look, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and cunt Noble off. There's no way I will do that because the geezer's like he lives and breathes West Ham. But there has to be a point in your life where you just got to say you know, and he even admitted it before. You know, the lockdown. You can't keep on relying on me. My legs are going. I'm not.
But we're not talking about his loyalty to the club. We all know that. We're talking about today's game, and I
don't think he played well. I thought the game passed him by. He was decent on the ball, but to be fair, we didn't have a lot of the ball.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He was decent.
What was missing was Rice in the midfield to drive the midfield and give a bit more energy in it.
This is what we were saying last night. We were saying that we need Rice in that midfield so it allow him to make them runs. But Noble. We all know Noble's not the quickest. But as I'm saying,
it was probably the wrong choice for this match. I'd say he was probably the wrong.
I think today he was the only person in that midfield that was picking up his head and looking to play that ball. And he did play a couple of decent balls. But I think Souček defended well in the box.
You can't blame Fabianski for them goals. I don't think you can't have a pop at Fabianski. I don't think he should be able to aim his head.
The execution wasn't great today. I'll be honest.
4-0 for me, mate. I'll be honest. it took me 20 minutes to realise he was on the pitch.
I'm thinking, but this is what I was saying to Nicky. Like, I think he's better in the middle for Fornals than he is out on the wing. He's better as a sort of a playmaker. And when we started to see him play well, I think he does a lot better than that than trying to play.
I think he's set up. I think he's set up to start the game with Fornals in the middle, but it just seemed like everyone just kept going out wide. But I think that was the way Wolves were playing football. And you noticed that Wolves were targeting Ngakia all the time.
Yeah, he was doubling it quite a lot.
Yeah, but he done quite well. He recovered quite well a few times, Ngakia, to be fair to him.
But the odd thing was, like,
he had a good game, but you know, that's the difference. Right, that's the difference between winning and losing is the fact that the manager had done his own work. We looked like we didn't know who was playing.
I mean, one player that didn't obviously come on today, and obviously Moyes doesn't really rate him, Balbuena. I mean, would you not have sort of thought play Balbuena and Diop together at the back and put Rice in midfield?
That should have been the substitution at least. Balbuena for Noble, move Rice up with Souček at least even before it went 1-0 or after it went 1-0. He should have. I don't know why he didn't do that. I don't think anyone told him that he could make 5 subs today. I don't think he got that memo.
Mate, he struggles to make 3 subs in the game.
He struggles to make 1 sub, Scott, sometimes.
Yeah, that was never. He was never going to make 5 subs. As soon as we went 9-0 down, he should have looked at his bench and thought, right, Lanzini, Yarmolenko, Wilshere, creative players who can get you a goal. Chuck them on the pitch. Just go
for it. Yeah, chuck the kitchen sink at her.
I mean, one thing. Did you see when the cameras zoomed in on David Sullivan? David Sullivan looks like he looked like he was sitting there thinking, yeah, this is a bit of me, this. No crowd, happy days, no stick. And he actually looked a bit younger. Then they zoomed to David Gold, and I thought, Jesus Christ, he's looking rough.
No, but Sullivan didn't know how to put his mask on because they didn't have their mask on. You can see someone's gone, the cameras will put your mask on. He's like smiling. He's like, oh, how'd you do it? And then
he thought it was a hat.
Yeah, but they're wearing them tacky, awful ones they brought out like from the club shop, wouldn't they? But the other people, Nicky pointed out, the other staff had these really nice navy ones with the crossed hammers on the side.
Yeah,
but they're not up for sale. But yeah, it was funny seeing them though. It did look well.
It was weird, wasn't it? Though with no crowd. I mean, I don't know how you watched the game, but
we had with the noise on.
I had it with no noise on. That it was winding me up, so I just watched it because I thought I want to hear the players. I want to hear them. See what you can hear him say.
I've watched the stream before of a game when there's been like there's no noise or the commentary's been in a different language, and then just turned it off. And them games you see passion, you see a bit of fight because there's no crowd actually in the stadium making any noise at all. That's what I think dampers a bit of the passion.
Yeah. I mean, Traore, he changed it for him, didn't he? I mean, when I see him sitting on the bench, the size of his legs. And then they showed an image of him with his shirt. The geezer's built like a brick shithouse, but fucking hell, can he run? And he was the difference, wasn't he? As soon as he come on, he just caused problems down that wing. And his ball was world class. It was in a perfect position just to go over Rice and Diop. And Fabianski was caught in, no man's land. He didn't know what to do, whether to come or go for it. And Jimenez, it's a great finish. You know what I mean?
The thing is, you've got to look at the defending there. Jimenez was good. You're on about the first goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jimenez has done well because he's got in between the centre half and the right back. But Diop's lost his man. And that's something Diop does quite often. He should be aware of where his man is. You should see his man get off him and give yourself drop back a couple of yards because he's caught under the flight of the ball.
But a lot of players do that. There's no social ways. They're always watching the ball and not the man. I've seen it so many times where they're like watch the ball and they're not watching the players around them.
And let's be honest, the second goal was almost carbon copy.
Yeah, I tend to fell off my chair.
What?
Their first goal, as I said, Traore, it was Fornals. Look, he's going to leave a lot of players behind when he takes it past them. But it was a great cross, and when I look at it, I mean, it's as Scott said, Diop. Sometimes he does get caught out of position too much.
The thing is as well is you look at them 2 crosses that they put into the box for their 2 goals compared to every cross that we put into the box for the whole game. There's just no conviction in our crossing. There's no idea in it. It's just hit it in and hope. You know, we have one player in the cross against 5, one player in the box against 5 defenders when the cross comes in, and it goes to a defender. I
think the worrying thing about it is, right. This is the really worrying thing about it is, right, is that basically these players have had 2 pre-seasons now. Yeah, like because that what we just had is basically a fucking another pre-season, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what their roles are. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't know how to shut down as units. They don't know how to even at basic fucking Sunday league level. You know, you have to shift over and all of that sort of thing.
That comes from the manager.
What we do is we get it into the midfield, and all you see is the players doing like this. Like, because everyone's running beyond, everyone's running on. Like, nobody knows when to come and drop and get the ball. Nobody knows when to make a forward run. Nobody knows when to hit the channel. And what do we end up doing? Pumping it into the channel and hoping fucking Antonio the Beast can get there, because that's all we've got. We've got fuck all. There's nothing about us, and we're not learning anything. We've had, you know, this ain't one game, like the one season thing. This has happened since Bilic, like the last days of Bilic. We have had 3 or 4 different managers now. Absolute fucking learn nothing. No mentality in the squad. You know, all the fucking thing about the coaches and the scouts and all that. We don't buy players to fit a system. We just buy players and hope that they fit together. Like, today's game is such a fucking more advanced thing than just, he'll do, bring him in. Like, you've got to look at like things like their attitudes, their fucking family life and all that. Everything has to be scouted. And we are relying on like people like agents and that. We ain't going to learn under this regime, because they don't want to use the right people. You know, they're not. I don't think they're quite sure what our problem is. But we can identify the problem. These players don't fit together. There's no identity of a team. You know what can you say that team was today? Jared Bowen's a good player. Antonio's a good player. Rice is a good player. Yarmolenko's meant to be a good player. Diop's meant to be the next big thing. What do they do when they're together? They ain't got a fucking clue. They don't know nothing.
But to play devil's advocate, would you say then what Moyes is saying, what he wants to do in the summer, is what he's saying is going to build that identity, and maybe all these young British Championship players is going to do what you're saying with that?
At the moment, we need fighters, but that's the thing. We need, like, Ryan it's spot on earlier. We've got 3 midfielders in there. The only 3 midfielders that we've got, they're all the same fucking player. We don't have ideas for every sort of like eventuality of a game. You know, they looked at Noble. Noble's already there, but they looked at Rice. They thought, yeah, he can go in. But they didn't think, oh, we need a bit of a creative midfielder. We need someone that can do this job. We need something that can do that job. They never look at that. They just go, yeah, Jack Wilshere, he's on a free. Come, don't matter that you've been injured, because you'll be taking up a space in our squad and £100,000 a week. We know that you're going to get injured, but we ain't got no one to replace him. We've got 3 of the same players in everywhere. We've got one capable first team centre forward, and we've been fucking lucky that he hasn't been out for a longer time, because we know our record with injuries. Yarmolenko, another injury prone player. We signed him, you know, we let Andy Carroll, we let fucking Chicharito go, all different sorts of players to what we've got, and we stick with one idea. We've got no variety in the squad, and when it doesn't work, we don't know what the fuck to do.
There's no one on the bench. Yeah, there's no one there's no one you can, when you looked at that bench, you thought they could bring him on, they could bring him, but you never looked at it and thought, well, he can change the game. Like they had with Traore. They could bring Traore and it could change the game, and it could put
there's no game changers on that bench. And the worrying thing is, for me, is we've won 1 in our last 10, and you're asking us to win 4 out of our next 8 to stay up. And that's the worrying thing. And people, I know we keep saying, yeah, we've got teams like Watford and Burnley and all that, but look, there's no crowds. You know, them teams are going to come to the London Stadium and just turn up, and they're not going to have the pressure of the crowds. But I find teams never turn up to the London Stadium and have the pressure of the crowds. So it's difficult that we're looking. You're asking us to find 4 out of our last 8 games. It's worrying times, and the thing is, our fear is that if we get relegated, that's the end of it for West Ham. I don't think we'll come back up, and it'll be a 60,000 seater stadium with 25,000, maybe 30,000 hardcore fans over there, half empty stadiums, and it'd just be worrying times for West Ham. I don't think we're bounced straight back up.
And a lot of hardcore fans won't go anymore. They'll give it up, I'd tell you. Because
the thing is, it's going to be another one. And I think if we're going to stay up, it's going to be the fact that 3 teams are going to be worse than us.
If we are dangerously close to becoming like a Sunderland. We are that close to becoming like what Sunderland were, bouncing around relegation every year, think they're going to go on and do big things, you know what I mean? Like, on the face of it, yeah, they've got decent players and they've got a bit of money and they've got a decent manager and all of that sort of thing, but no identity, no direction. We lack direction. Like, nobody at the top gives the club any sort of direction. Like, in other clubs, like, do you think Wolves chairman, right, when they started building this project that they're building now, and that, look, somebody said it to me on the stream that we done. They're light years ahead of us. Light years ahead.
And the worrying thing is, mate, they've only been in the Premier League for 2 seasons.
This is the thing. This is the thing, right? They're light years ahead of us in terms of management, in terms of players, in terms of an identity and all that.
And do you know why?
Probably 5-6 years, because they identified what they wanted, Ryan, and they've got somebody leading the vision. We've got a chairman that don't want to look into a vision about a football club. He wants to bring in as much money as he can, and he's relying on people that want as much money as they can to advise him right. He doesn't want to pay out for fucking people to analyse what's going on, to fit what's going into the squad. They just look, it's like a kid in a sweet shop with a blindfold when they go into the transfer market. They just grab what they can.
The thing is, like, what with Wolves, they've got a manager that, as you said earlier, something that we don't do, that Nuno Santos does at Wolves. He identifies players for right positions that will change games, and that's something that we don't do. Scott, do you want to flick your light on?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
I was sitting there. I was about to say that.
I thought
it's not the fact that it's him. He's got a whole team behind him. Nuno Santos is not sitting there of a night time doing everything by himself. He's got a team around him. They all know what they're doing. They've all got the right philosophy. He's got the right scouts looking for the right players. He's got the right advisors. The chairman is giving him a vision. Our chairman don't give a fuck. Keep us in the Premier League. That'll do us. You know what I mean? Like, and that's probably that is why people like Pellegrini, who have got a fucking, like, let's be honest. He was a manager that, was on his last payday in China, and they pulled him back. I do, like, at the time, I sort of like, I appreciated that, they was paying so much for a manager, but then again, that wasn't done on the basis of what we need. It was done on the basis of he's a big name. Mm-hmm. That was what it was done on. You know what I mean? And that'll appease them because it was all kicking off. That'll sort it out and all that. And look what we've done. The geezer that we sacked to get him in, we've had to get back again, and he's just as useless now as he was then. It's just like there is no vision for the club until we get a chairman in that wants to take the club forward. Then we won't do anything, because he won't employ the right people. He won't employ spend any money on scouts. He won't spend any money on this. He won't spend any money on that. He's trying to do it. I've said this year after year after year, as cheaply as he can to get out that club. Dan was telling me that the American owner was he's been touted about taking over next year and all that. There's no vision for the club. If we scrape it again, unless they make wholesale changes, and let's be fair, we've been saying this for 4 years. We'll be in exactly the same position, and eventually our luck will run out.
Yeah, I think with our owners, they're just sort of happy to survive, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just happy to survive, and
that's it. It was 17th every season.
When you said earlier, I mean, the Wolves chairman have got vision now. I think our chairman did have vision, but they never backed it up. They never backed it up.
Their vision, mate, was that stadium and the money that comes in.
Yeah, Day one, their vision was that stadium.
Of course, yeah. They said it in the press conference.
And we all bought into that. And, it hasn't worked out. And I'm hoping that, because I think if we go down and, the potential of an owner's buying us might not happen.
The thing is, I can't. If we go down, I can't see them selling because they won't get the money that they'll want, and that they can demand.
Just take their money back.
I mean, it's tough because they are saying that people are buying more Championship clubs than Premier League clubs, and I think if we do go down, it might be so toxic that the board might sit there and try and be like, do you know what, I need to, because they can at least look like the good guys, can't they? Because they can at least say we're going to sell on. If they stay on and we go down, it is going to be so toxic. But
the problem is, Dan, they don't care, because at the end of the day, they're all they'll look at. We go down, the valuation of the club will drop, right? So say for argument's sake, the valuation of the club now is 200 million. Yeah, we go down to the Championship, that's going to drop to a minimum of 150 million, right? They're going to look at it, well, if we just pump a little couple of bits of money and get them promoted, then get the money back, we can sell the club for 200 million. That's all they care about. They don't care that what league we're in. They just care about how much money they're going to get for the club when they do turn around and say they're going to sell it. And they will hold on and hold on and hold on as long as they can while we're in the Premier League before they let us go.
And that is why I can't sit there and praise them for anything, because they've pulled the wool over our eyes.
No, I praised them in the beginning when they first joined, because I but now I don't, and we've said it many a times. We want them gone. I think 98% of the fans want them gone, and it's worrying times, because I agree with Scott. I think we will stay up this season, but I think it's going to be down to other teams' results. And then, I mean, I'm looking at it now, and Bournemouth look like they're going to lose, and it's a massive result for us, because Brighton getting a win today. Last minute winner against Arsenal. Watford obviously equalising against Leicester in the last minute. It's not been a great day for us. And now we go to Tottenham on Tuesday night, which is going to be a difficult game. I mean, I watched them last night, and to be fair, they weren't great. But as Nicky said earlier, they've got players that can damage us, and Tottenham are going to be looking. They want their first win of this new start to the continuing the season, and they're going to be looking for blood on Tuesday night, and that could end up being something ridiculous if we don't turn up. If we play like we did today, Tottenham will put 4 or 5 past us without a doubt.
Listen, we go on the end of a season, right? We go there at the end of the season, every season it seems, to go to White Hart Lane and end up pulling a result out of their arse. Look, I'm not fucking turning around and saying it's a cup final or nothing like that, but it does seem to paper over the cracks. But it's down to the fans. The fact that, Spurs have always got injuries or players out and all that, not playing too well at the time. We just end up getting up for that game. I don't know the mentality that these players have got, because I can't see that without the fans in attendance, I can't see them getting up. Spurs are at full force. Let's be fair. Look at the quality of the game that we watched against Man United. Compared to the quality of the game today, they was pinging the ball about and all that. They nullified each other because they was decent. You know what I mean? But you look at the quality to that, and that wasn't fantastic. That's not as well as they can play. But look at the quality today when we're fucking stumbling over each other. Can't get near each other. They will tear us to pieces. That Bergwijn is a very good player. Kane's back. And believe me, that loss last year would have hurt them. They're going to want blood. They're going to want blood.
Do you think? I don't know if Spurs are that type of team that have that. They never seem to get up, even when we do beat them. But I think the problem is, like you said, without the fans there. But Scott made a point of, you'd think the players like Noble, Rice, who know about these, like Antonio, who know what these mean. You think they might be able to get everyone up for it and get up for it, but you don't know whether the fans really are gonna. It's going to be a big loss. It's tough, but
honestly, I can't see anything but a loss on Tuesday, and the same goes for.
I disagree.
I've been surprised before,
but disagrees.
I disagree. I think Tottenham's a winnable game, same as Chelsea's a winnable game. They are.
I would agree with you.
They are winnable games. You can't.
They're not winnable games. Not in the state we're in now.
Listen,
every game's winnable.
Yeah, but it's not to winnable half the time. Yeah, London derbies and London derbies. You've got players in our squad who know. I know what you're saying with Spurs. The fact that what us being the first team to beat them there and the first team to keep a clean sheet there, it's going to hurt them. But there's players in our squad that know that. And as you said, we've turned up for these games before, and we need to do it again.
The circumstances.
But Scott, we need to stop turning up for just the Tottenhams and the Chelseas. We've got to start turning up for the Burnleys, the Villas.
But mate, how long have we been saying that, right? How long have we been saying?
I've been saying that since I first started going over West Ham, mate. But you know, we grew up as West Ham fans. You know, we was always that shitty team that would nick a result against the Man Uniteds and a point against Arsenal, and it was massive. But times have changed, and now if West Ham want to progress and move on, we have to start competing with every single team. And you know, every team now can beat everyone in the Premier League, everyone. And believe me, Norwich are bottom of the league, but they're going to get a few results. They will get a few results, and they'll put pressure on that bottom to get out of that relegation zone.
The thing is I agree with what you're saying. You know what? To be honest, I'd rather beat all the teams around us and get beat by the likes of Tottenham and Chelsea, because we're winning the games that we should be winning and not just getting up for the games that the players feel that means more to them or more to the fans.
I just want to get the. If we need 4 wins, I just want to get them straight away. Yeah. I think you might be looking at 5 wins because it's so tight down there. This could go down to the last game of the season. Imagine that. The West Ham versus Aston Villa at the London Stadium, no fans can be there, and winner stays up.
Yeah,
no, we've got to look at teams. We've got to target the games.
We need to start getting a big ladder and sit on the roof like they did in Portugal.
No, we need honestly, we need to target the games that where teams have got fuck all to play for, basically, and hope that we get results.
Honestly, mate, I don't think there is any, because me and Dan were saying earlier, when you look at it, Burnley 6 points off of Europe.
Yeah, but we've got a long way to go to Burnley. They could be 12, 15 points off the way.
But the table is so tight, Nick, at both ends. It's like near enough every team has something to play for, because the ones that are sort of mid-table are close to, it's still not far enough of relegation.
There's still teams there.
Yeah, like there's like 2-3 teams. That's it. Two couple of teams.
Well, they're the games that we got to you know, we win and
Spurs are they're 6 points off top 4. You know, Chelsea are in the top 4, but Wolves put pressure on them tonight. Wolves are 2 points behind Chelsea now. Level United. It's fucking crazy how close it is. And I'm looking at the fixtures, and the only side I can really say that probably is, I look at Newcastle thinking they've got nothing to play for, but they're only sort of 5 points clear.
They're not mathematically.
The thing that works in our favour a little bit is there is a lot of teams who are having to play for things now. You're not at that stage at the moment where there's teams that are on their holidays. Everyone's still playing for things. You know, when you look at Palace tonight, I think if Palace win this one, they're 4 points off of Europe, 5 points off Europe. So they're going to.
But there's going to be other teams as the games get on.
Sorry, can I just say, Palace, if they win tonight, are 6 points off Champions League.
There you go. So the good thing in our favour is that they're still playing for something, and I'm sure they've got to play teams that are around us at the bottom. So the more teams are involved in actually pushing for something, it could benefit us.
As we said earlier in the show, mate, it's gutting that we have to say this, but we're going to have to rely on other teams, on other results. Yeah. You know, we're going to.
As it stands, it's still in our hands.
Yeah.
So I would be taking, like, as it stands right this second, it is still in our hands. We're still outside the relegation zone, and we've got our own destiny in our hands. You need to take them players in there and say, right, I want to know who's going to roll up their sleeves. The likes of Anderson tend to fuck off back to Brazil for the summer. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't. You can't go into games that you needing to sort of like win with players like Anderson, who's going to stroll around like it's a fucking summer holiday. But
do that in the summer because I think on the beach. Do that in the summer because I think at the moment we need all the players we can. And the thing is, I mean, we could be sitting here in a week's time or whatever, and we could get a win against Spurs, and we could nick a win at home against Chelsea, and we're being totally different. We'll be thinking, oh, you know, we're safe and all that. But 2 heavy defeats against Chelsea and Spurs. I worry. I do worry for West Ham. I worry for us.
I'm with you, mate. That's the thing. I think we need at least one win out of the next 2 games.
I thought you should say 1 win out of the next 8.
No. We need to pick up at least 3 points.
I mean, I looked at that Wolves game today. I mean, I've just seen that Traore got man of the match. That says it all for me. He was on 15 minutes.
Yeah, shows how poor the game was overall.
Yeah, but I looked at that Wolves game and I was thinking to myself, do you know what? I'd take a point here. When it got to about the 75th minute, just before they scored, I thought I'd settle for a point now because a point's a point.
A point would have been big. It would have been big today.
Yeah,
I think.
But it's a massive game on Tuesday, and the games come thick and fast. We've got 5 weeks. We've got to play all the last 8 games, so there's no rest.
Man, there's no time like you normally get in a season. Like if you get to this point in the season, there's normally an international break week.
I was just about to say that we can't even. Can we request an international break or something?
That's Miami.
Like it comes thick and fast. There's no time to think now. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no time to get on the training pitch and sort it out. If you ain't sorted it out already, you're fucked. And what I've seen today, we haven't sorted fuck all out because we've still got the same problem. In fact, we look fucking worse.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you look back to the last 4 games before the lockdown, like we said last night, we actually progressed in performances and the way we planned. We looked like we had a plan. Today, we went miles back.
Scott, take away the Southampton game, mate. We was playing well, but we're still losing.
Oh yeah, I know. But
I'd rather play shit and win, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. At the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points. It don't matter how you get them. But when you're playing well, you can see a way forward.
Our confidence was building. Like Arsenal, we should have beat Arsenal. We should have beat them.
But that's
the difference, isn't it? We should have beat Arsenal. We could have gone away and thought about it and thought about the Wolves game, relied on injuries, relied on a bit of tiredness because they've been in the Europa League and all of that, seeing if we can sort of get a little break there and all of that. But everyone's fresh now. Everyone's had a rest. Yeah. It's like a brand new season. And we're in a position, as I say, I was so confident about the Spurs game. The way we was playing, the injuries they had, I thought, yeah, we'll go there. I reckon we'll nick that, and I reckon we'll do Chelsea. I can't see it now. I know
what you're saying, mate. I know what you're saying.
Once you lose that, like today, think about it. It's fucking 20-10 on a fucking Saturday. We play them again Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time to get back in to sort of have a look and work on things. There's no time.
I mean, how would you change it up? I mean, it looks like Ogbonna's going to be back for Tottenham, which is going to be a massive boost. And it looks like Heller's going to be back. So Declan Rice will obviously drop into midfield. I'll probably say what would probably Noble will miss out.
Yeah,
he's got to. I just don't think he'll keep up with the midfield.
If we was playing with a crowd, you'd put Noble in because he gets up for them. But I think I'd probably drop Noble and move Rice in with Souček.
I wouldn't mind to see Wilshere come on as a sub, maybe if he's fit enough, because again, he's one of them players that knows all about that. And again, he's a player. If he'd be fit and playing, coming on can create chances, and does a little bit more with the ball. So maybe if he's up to it, bring him on as a sub.
The only thing that we've got positive going for us tonight is the fact that.
It's over at Bournemouth now. They've lost 2-0. So
like they've lost 2-0. It's still in our hands. You got to look at the players and say what you've got. Fucking forget what's going on. We've got very few games now to save our skins. You got to start rolling up your sleeves. If they don't, then we're doomed. If they do, we still have got the ability to.
That made me laugh when you said that. We are doomed. I totally agree with you, though, mate. I mean, as I said a little while ago, I think if this club get relegated, I think it's definitely in for West Ham. I don't think we'll come up. I could see a Leeds situation happening where we just stay down there for years and years. And I know there's some fans out there that would like us in the Championship, but for me, the Premier League's where you got to be. You attract the bigger players, the better players. It's just, look, I know David Moyes ain't everyone's first choice. None of us wanted him, but he's here. And as I said on last night's show, he's come into this club twice and he's got 2 squads that he hasn't had an input on. So it's about him stepping up there and hoping to get these players fired up. I mean, he can only do so much on the training pitches and in the change room. As soon as they cross that white line, it's down to the players. The fucking players need to step up and start showing a bit more responsibility, a little bit more passion, because they can't keep turning around and thinking, oh, right, we've lost, but the fans are just blame Golden Sullivan, they're blame David Moyes, because they're not. We sit here and we're criticising them just as much, and they're the only one. David Moyes can't come on and fucking score a winning goal. He's the manager. He has to. I know he's got to motivate them players. I mean, I could hear him on the touchline today, and he's non-stop. I mean, Pellegrini used to sit in the dugout and not say a word. Bilic was pretty similar, stood up on the touchline and give his instructions. David Moyes was doing it today, and whatever you think of David Moyes, love him or hate him, you know, he needs to. It's down to them players when they cross that white line.
Of course it is. If the player, you know, but the problem for me is that if you put the right plan in place and the players don't perform, that's down on the players. I don't think he had the right plan in place today. So you know, as much as the players didn't perform when they were out there, I think the plan was wrong. I
mean, I don't know when Sebastian Haller got pulled out, but I'm sure we would have prepared all week with him up top.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I said earlier.
And then that's the difference between a manager like David Moyes and a manager like Guardiola, someone that knows how to change a game and a plan. And I know Guardiola's got a lot better players to call on than what we have, but that's the difference between top class managers and sort of average.
You need a contingency. You can train all you want and say, but you've got a plan for different eventualities that, okay, something might happen if he gets injured. We got this. You've got to have some contingency plans in place.
You've only got to look at Wolves today, right? Their plan was, we're going to keep Traoré on the bench, play out 60, 70 minutes of the game, see where we are, and chuck him on. Because we know West Ham struggle to deal with pacey, strong players.
Oh, yeah. He looked at that game and he thought, when we get to about 65, 70 minutes, you can see West Ham getting tired and you chuck on someone like Traoré who's going to get that ball and he's going to knock it past you and run and you're not going to catch him.
But why couldn't we see that? Why couldn't Moyes see that plan? Like, we could all see it. We all knew it from the start. From the moment you see that Traoré's on the bench, you know, okay, that's what they're going to do, right? So why is it that we're not able to prepare for that and plan for that and go, right, this is what we're going to do. When he comes on, we're going to do this. We're going to change our shape. We're going to double up, whatever.
But what have we got there? What do? We take Creswell off. Who do we bring on? We either chuck young Ben Johnson and say...
Yeah, Masuaku won on the bench today, was he? Yeah. So Masuaku, if Masuaku was on the bench, then Moyes might have identified that and thought, right, I'll take off Creswell or Fornals and double up on Traoré. Because Masuaku's got the pace to keep up with him, but I don't know. Look, we all sit here and you know, it's easy for us to say, you know, it's easy for us to sit here and say this, that, and the other, but you know, it's just, you know, me and Scott was on, and Nicky was on Friday Night Pint last night, and you know, we're sort of a little bit positive going into this game, thinking, do you know what? They might be up for it, but it just felt like there's been no break and it was just continuing on.
Yeah. As I said, well, I feel like we took a couple of steps forward before the break and we've just took a giant leap backwards.
We took about 5 somersaults backwards.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's why we're drained of any optimism going into the 2 games we got.
Yeah,
you know, because we know how good them 2 teams can be.
Apparently, Bournemouth have some tough games coming. Apparently, their last few fixtures are really bad. So this is again, like we were saying.
I think the teams down there. We said it last week. When we look around the teams down there, I think we have got. The teams around us have got some of the top 4 to play.
That's the only. As I said, it's the only blessing we've got is that they've got some hard. I think Villa's running is terrible. The players.
Yeah. You watch them pull out a few results out there.
Yeah, and then that always happens, mate. You know it does. You get a team down there that everyone thinks they're not going to get results. And I think was it Sunderland the other year when they stayed up and they went to Chelsea and won. And they went to Old Trafford to win.
Wigan used to do it yearly.
Yeah.
You fucking see Wigan, there'd be 8 points adrift with 5 games to go. And they got Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham, and fucking Chelsea. And they'd beat them all. Yeah. They used to do it yearly until as I said, until their luck run out one year. And you know, it's another fucking like I don't know. It's just that, you know, someone's gonna. It won't. Do you know what? That wouldn't surprise me if that was fucking Norwich, who fucking all of a sudden go on a fucking 5-game, 6-game winning streak and fucking find themselves 1 point behind everyone.
I think this to Dan earlier. When we play the likes of Norwich, especially Norwich, I don't know whether it's better that I'd rather them still be fighting to stay up when they play us than already being relegated. Because
they play with that pressure, didn't they?
Yeah, the pressure's lifted off them and they may put a performance in. It's the same with Villa. Like, if we go into the Villa game and we've got to win it and Villa are already relegated, I'd be more worried than if it was a win, whoever wins stays up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because then there's pressures on both teams then. It's not just on one side.
It's like a cup final, really. It is.
Yeah, I mean, Villa have got Chelsea tomorrow at home. So that's a difficult game, you know. That we hope that Chelsea turn up and get a result. Really, yeah. I mean, it's
worrying. It's worrying.
Right, we end it there.
Yeah. I've been on for like 6 hours.
Is there any positives? Probably the only positive that we ain't got to drive all the way home. We're already at home.
Yeah, I'll turn around and get me bed.
Yeah, usually on a match day, we'd still have like time we pack up and then we drive home. We wouldn't get home till like late, but now Nicky could just roll off his chair and roll in.
Honestly, if I tip my chair back now, I'll be in bed.
Just do it.
I can't agree.
I say this as a positive. Put a positive spin, right? It's the first game back of the restart, right? We've still got a few more games. We're not relegated yet. We're still like Nicky said, it's in our hands. So we've got time to keep going and improve. And you know what I mean, play, like I said, Bonner to come back and things like that. So we didn't exactly see our best team today. Maybe Ella is going to be fit again, either the next game or the game after. So I do think we'll improve.
The thing is as well, we've got to remember Wolves have probably got one of the best probably one of the best defensive records in the league this season as well. So,
and you know that thing, right? It was 0-0 and it flashed up on Sky, right? The stats saying how Wolves score most of their goals in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that as well. That's
what
just
happened?
So difficult, isn't it?
We've conceded 25 in the last 15 and they've scored 21 or something like that. So you knew what was going to happen. But I mean, yeah, I mean, the only other positives, well, at least we'll have 2 European trips next season, Cardiff and Swansea. We're going on a European tour to Wales.
All right, Nick, get them European tour t-shirts back out on sale.
Print them back up. We was already out of Europe before the ink dried on them t-shirts.
Fucking had to chuck them in the bin.
Oh, mate. We got any, end on a positive, Nick. We got any plans for any new t-shirts?
Yes. I'm waiting for the designers and the t-shirt guys to come back. We're going to have some new ones coming up very, very soon, I'm sure. We've still got a line there. They're still fulfilling the orders, but we just got to get them back in so they can sort of like sort out the codes and the office workers back in, but they're still fulfilling orders, so you can go there. We've still got post-match pint glasses left, which I ain't got one to hand, which is fucking unprofessional of me. But I have been sitting on the fucking computer now for
it's been a long day for you, mate.
5 hours. Yeah, you know what I mean? And since this morning. And we've got a Patreon. You can support us on Patreon. You can download all of this as audio if you're a Patreon. There's a competition at the minute that we was going to announce tonight, but I'm going to give it until the morning and I'll announce it to the patrons then, where we are going to pre-order someone the brand new West Ham kit when it comes out, the 125-year anniversary one, and it'll be at their door when they are we
going to pre-order it, but they've got to pay for it?
Yeah, we'll pre-order it, but they pay. No, obviously we're going to pay for it and we're going to send it to your address. So whoever wins that, but that's open to patrons only. You can join our Patreon for as little as £3. The higher the tiers, the more benefits you get. But there's loads of stuff. I'm just about to send out designs for exclusive t-shirts for the patrons, and they get them for free because they've been a top tier subscriber for 3 months. Which is
I think the Patreon come at the come at the right time for us, but it happened, the lockdown happened and it's just gone mental. But we will start obviously picking up. I mean, you've done some stuff today with the Patreon, which was good.
Yes, it come at the wrong time, but we like the thing is to have this channel survive now, we need like better equipment, you know, better you know, quality in video, and that's how we're going to do it. We need the patrons to help us grow as a channel, and this channel
we need a sponsor as well. So if anyone's watching that's got a company that would like to sponsor the channel, you know, feel free to drop us a DM or an email, and get involved with the channel.
Yeah, I just see a chat there, and it says, and you get to come in a group chat with us as well when we get these boys their sims. For the Patreon, why don't you,
Scott, do selfies, naked selfies,
lads? For the Patreon, why don't you start a Discord group chat? Dan, I'm sure that's something you could do, mate.
Yeah, well, I started it, but we started a new Patreon, so it's on the old page. So I've just started on this one.
Okay. Yeah. So please, if you can afford it, I know times are tough at the moment, but please consider supporting us on Patreon. And we've got, there's loads of tiers, and we've got some good tiers there. As I said on Monday morning, people who've been the top tier Patreon, they're just about to get sent out a link for some T-shirts that they can get. And then after 6 months, they get a hoodie and all of that sort of thing. But it really does go towards helping us. And it looks like if we go to the championship, we're going to fucking need it, to be honest with you. So,
we're skid.
Yeah, we'll be on our fucking.
Listen, if we drop to the championship, we'll still be doing this channel.
Yeah, and listen, if you're here and you're not interested in the Patreon, nothing that we provide on YouTube is going to go behind a paywall. It's all extra stuff. So if you're only here and you can't afford a Patreon, please just subscribe, comment, and share the stuff, and that we appreciate that as well, because that goes to helping us grow.
I've just seen a couple of people comment saying, how do they join? The link's in the description below. On the YouTube, there's a Patreon. It takes you through and it explains all the tiers and everything. So just click on the link. But post match pint, obviously, usually we're sitting in a pub and we're all around the table together. Obviously, for now, we have to do it like this. But if the lockdown thing does change, where it goes to, instead of 2 meters, a meter rule, then maybe in the next few weeks we might be able to meet up in someone's garden, Scott. But no, we might be able to do it. It'd be good to see everyone, because we haven't seen each other since Arsenal away. That was the last time.
I think I might cry if I see you lot, because I miss you greatly, to be honest. I miss seeing you, and I miss the interactions we have. I know we get to see each other once a week, and it's been good, but it's
not the same, is it? It's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
Don't say that. Oh, there's dust in the room.
I'm the same.
I've got a bit of hay fever.
We spend a lot of time together during the season and things like that, and we're all good mates, and we've just spent so much time not being able to be as mates. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll do it all properly. We're social distance, and we'll have the face mask. It looked like a fucking Star Wars reunion, wouldn't it?
Listen, the garden's ready and waiting for when we can do it, mate. So
yeah, you better have a barbecue.
Yeah, I've got
and a vegan option for Dan, of course. You got to think of Dan.
The pool's all set up as well, so don't worry about that.
We should do it in the pool.
Wait, is it a proper pool, or is it like one of them little kiddie inflatable ones?
You got a hot tub.
You can't see it, but it's a 10 meter above ground, 10 foot above ground pool. So,
you say 10 foot above ground. They'll say, "Fucking hell, what am I in a swimming pool?"
That's still frame one. So it's
drown.
But that's what
it'd be good to meet up with everyone. It's been a long time. The last time we obviously was with each other was when we was in the pub after the Arsenal game. So and we never thought walking out of that pub thinking we're not going to see each other for nearly enough 4 months.
Mad, isn't it? It's crazy.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint. We'll be back again. There's fan cams just going up, so go and check them out as well, because we've done them as well. There's shows that we just done. We'll be previewing the Tottenham game. I think I've got expressions coming on, which I'm really not looking forward to now, to be quite honest with you. And Flav from the Fighting Cock will be previewing the game with them on match day. One for the Patreon, one for the YouTube. As I said before, look at the Patreon if you fancy it. But if you're not around for any of that, just click the subscribe button, share it, like it. It all helps us in the end. One thing left to say, lads. Oh, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and all that sort of stuff. On West Ham Fan TV.
2 things left to say.
One thing left to say, lads.
Come on, you are.
Good night.